Yeah, here we are going to talk about infrastructure project management. So, infrastructure project management is the planning, that is, you have the planning first, coordination, then execution and control of large scale infrastructural projects to deliver them on time within the budget and to quality standards. So, for infrastructure project management, these are the basic things to consider. So to deliver the project on time, that means timing is a big factor. Then within the budget, because you have a limited budget, then and to the quality. Even though you have a limited budget, it should still be within the quality standard. So we have key objectives, which is to deliver the project on time, which is very, very crucial. Then stay within the budget so that you will not exceed the budget that you had. Then meet quality and safety standards. So you're going to meet the quality that is required. Then you also ensure that you meet the safety standard. Then minimize environmental and social impact. So in road construction, there's this environmental and social um, policies come into play. So you tend to minimize these environmental factors and social impact. Then manage risk and stakeholder expectation, because in every project there is this risk management involved. So the more you can manage the risk involved, the more you can have less stress within the construction period, and the more you can easily deliver on the project. And also stakeholder expectation. So there are expectation from your client, expectation from the community, expectation from your workers too. So if you manage your risk very well, you'll be able to mitigate through to give the best that you can give within the project. Then we have project phases. So the first phase for the project is initiation. So initiation defines the project goals and scope. So it helps you to know what to put in place for this specific project. Then the scope of the project, so that you will not exceed the scope. Maybe if you are to construct a 2 kilometer road, so the scope is within that 2 kilometer. So even if your chainage is extending, it shouldn't extend more than that 2 kilometers. So the scope of the road should be that 2 kilometer. Then conduct feasibility studies. Yes, so the project area, you have to go there to do your feasibility study. Know the risks that are going to be involved if you are going to provide security for your team. Know the tendencies, and what it takes to do the job. You understand? Maybe if your cut and fill, maybe your cutting area, you feel maybe it's just your laterite that you have there, but maybe from your feasibility studies you got to realize that you're having stones, you're having rocks and molders. So you're going to understand that it's not just laterite you have or mud. So you're going to understand how you're going to put that into your bill of quantity, so that you actually put the removal of those rocks. You understand? So conduct visibility studies actually helps you to understand the tenacity of the project. Then identify stakeholders. Yes, in every project you need to understand who are your stakeholders, so that you won't step on toes and you'll be able to confide on your stakeholders to give them the best. Then secure fundings and approvals. Yeah, for government projects, there are ways you secure funding and approvals. So because approvals are very, very important to the project. So if your project is not approved, then automatically you're not going to get the funding that is required for the project. So to secure fundings, you must work in line with the ethics that is involved, so that you can relate with the stakeholders and also get funding for the project. Then the second thing to look at is planning. So planning is very, very important because this is where you put heads together, share ideas, and look through to see the areas and also understand the contributive factors. You understand where your engineers tend to give advice. You understand the project manager tends to take decisions regarding to these advices that has been given by the engineers. So develop project schedule. So during the planning, that is where you're going to develop your project schedules, then estimate costs and resources. For your project schedule, you're going to it's going to have the initial timing for the project to kickstart. Then you're also going to have when you're going to hand over, that is after the construction of has been taking place. So when you tend to hand over the project. So this schedule tends to give you stage by stage breakdown of the project. Then you also estimate costs and resources because cost estimation is viable and very important in construction because if you know the cost of one bag of cement, then if you run that through the number of bags that you're going to require at the end of the day, it helps you to have an edge because you know what is going to cost you to construct so and so, and the resources that you're going to be using for such a project. Then create procurement strategies. Yes, how do you procure your materials? How do you bring these materials to site? What are the transportation means? Then if this so supply is not available, so how are you going to get a replacement for such a person or such a subcontractor? So all these are very, very important. Then assess risk and mitigation plans. So how do you assess risk? For you to assess risk, you actually need to even have a headway on what these risks are. You understand the risk, point out those risks. Then you also look for a mitigation plan so that at the end of the day you'll be able to mitigate. If it is not going to come via A, then B should be the plan. Then establish communication plans. Yes, how are you going to communicate with your people on site, the foreman, the engineers, and the safety engineers, whatsoever you have on site? Then your storekeeper, how are they going to get materials from him? You have to just settle down and create that communication plan so that everything will run seamlessly. Then we have design and procurement, engineering and technical design. So you have to ensure that your engineering designs are well done. If it is maybe for residential building, you're going to ensure your architectural drawing is well done. Then your structural drawing is well in place with all the detailings, right? Then you are going to have your M&E, that is your electrical and mechanical, and so on and so forth. Then you also make sure that you have the right approvals. Then contractor selection and bidding. So this has to be the with the selecting authorities. So they tend to use the documents maybe from your profile. When you bring your profiles to them, they tend to use your profiles to see similar job done, and from those kind of comparison they tend to select the best contractors for the job. And contract negotiation and award. So and after selection they tend to do all these negotiation to know who is going to give the least price, because price is involved here. So figures are very, very important. So you give the figure, they do comparison with the figures that you've been given. Maybe at the end of your BEME, maybe resulting to maybe 50 million, and the other partner is resulting to maybe 45 million. In as much as they are going to give the best quality at a low price, then the contract will be awarded to them. Then we have execution. So construction and implementation. So in execution phase, we have construction and implementation, because all these are technical drawings and engineering drawings. So at this phase, this is where you do your implementations, whereby you have your setting out. Then from your setting out, you have your columns, that is trench digging and all those things. So construction and implementation is very, very important. Then resource allocation. So for resource allocation, you need to know how to get your funding, because for every project, because sometimes I think from the Ministry of Works, you are giving what's it called, mobilization fee, right, for the first time of going for the project. So the mobilization fee is given to you so that you'll be able to mobilize to site, you'll be able to do your feasibility studies, you'll be able to do your consultations and all those things. So it is very, very important for you to have this resource allocation. And quality assurance and control. I'll still use Ministry of Works for example, because at every stage in the construction phase, we used to have people from Ministry of Works. They'll come to check, the quality. They'll come to check, the extent that the job has been done. So if you are not doing it rightly, they tend to actually, give you the headway to how it should be done. They'll give you the standards for you to follow. Then the next thing is monitoring and control. So monitoring and control, you track schedules and cost performance. Then you manage changes and claims. Then you monitor risk and compliance. Then progress report to stakeholders. So progress report is very, very essential, because at every level, right, for sometimes in the ministry, you tend to claim your claims, right, at with percentages. So at every level, you need to give your progress report. Maybe at stage A, you have to write your progress report with photographs and maybe your soil test, your soil reports, and all those things. So it's this your progress report that will help, give the ideas to those that are going to approve your documents for you, that okay, you've reached so and so stage, so you are requesting for so and so percentage. Then we have project close out. Then final inspection and testing. Yes, final inspection and testing. So this is where you use your checklist to actually check, those things that has been done on site, if it is in accordance to the standard that has been given. Then hand over to operations. Yes, so at some point you tend to hand over some of these construction projects to the operations. So let's let them do the testing to see if it's actually in accordance to the standards that has been given. Then documentation and lessons learned. Then contract closure. So at this point, once you've done your handover, so you do your contract closure. Then essential skills, project scheduling. So the skills you should know for your project scheduling. So we have the CPM, then P6, MS Project. So these are tools. It is similar to Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and the likes of them. But these are tools for project scheduling. Then cost estimation and budget control. So this is very, very important, because you need to understand how to do your estimate and do your market survey. From your market survey, you put the items you got from your market survey into your cost estimation. All this will still give you your budget, right? Then contract management, risk management, stakeholders engagement, leadership and communication, regulatory and environmental compliance. So all this put together gives the essential skills. Then the common challenges, For the common challenges, we have cost overrun, then schedule delay, yeah, then scope changes, because along the line in the project you can see that the client might even tell you that, okay, this is not how I want the aesthetics to be, then I want it to be like this, or this is not how I want the design to be. I want a change in design, or maybe the building itself, yeah, that they maybe need a basement along the line. So you have to start thinking of how to rearrange your columns for your columns to be able to take the weight that is coming on it and all those things. So all these tends to actually affect the construction procedure. And we have key performance indicator, the KPIs. So for your key performance indicators, you have the for road designs, yeah, we have international roughness index, which is the IDI. Then we have PCI, that is the pavement condition index. So basically for road design, you use these indexes to check for your key performance indicators. But here we have schedule variance, we have the cost variance, then we have safety incident rate, then we have quality defect rate, resource utilization. Resource utilization is very, very important, because how do you utilize the resources that has been given to you, from the money that has been given to you, that's the funds, then the materials on site, how do you utilize them, then stakeholder satisfaction, how do you satisfy the stakeholders, then environmental compliance metrics, because environmental compliance metrics is a big factor, because when you are doing your construction, are you actually taking care of the environment, or you're just doing your construction without considering all these key factors? So all this put together helps for you to note your key performance indicators, that is your KPIs. Then popular methodologies, so all this is your PMBOK based project management. Then we have the Princes, we have the EPIC, that is engineering, procurement, construction. Then design bid build, that is the DBB. Then design build, that is DB. Then public private partnership, that is the PPP. So all these are popular methodologies that you tend to use. So example, highway construction project. So for a highway construction project, we have the initiation stage, and for the initiation stage, you do your traffic demand analysis and your feasibility study. For your traffic demand analysis, you go to the road, you count your vehicles, you segment those vehicles, the numbers that are trucks, the numbers that are bicycles, the numbers that are vans. You just segregate them like that, so that you'll be able to work with that to create your volume. Then planning, for your planning, you have budgeting, environmental assessment and scheduling. Then procurement, selecting designers and contractors, that is under procurement. The execution, so we have road construction and bridge installation. So for execution, you are going to do the road construction itself, then along the line your bridge installation. Then we have monitoring. So for monitoring, you have tracking process and progress, then costs and safety. So you track the progress, right? You track the progress that you've had, is it in line with your schedule and all those things. Then we have closure, that is the final inspection and then opening to traffic. So these are just all about infrastructural project management.